Welcome back to the Googan Lab. We're going to talk about the go-to setup for catching crappie. Let's go. I often find myself breaking a crappie rod out when I'm bass fishing, when I come across them, because they're so fun to catch. You know, they taste good too. Golden Crispies, very nice. But there's one go-to setup that I always keep rigged in my boat with my bass gear, just in case I run across those fish and I can get them going in the boat. So let's take a look at it. We are simply talking about a small jig head and a small plastic. And that is it right there. My personal preference, my favorite color for crappie is pink. There's something about pink in the jig head that they really like. And as far as weight goes, my go-to is a 1/8, but I'll go down to a 1/16 or a 1/32 if the water's really shallow. Just depends on the water temperature and where they are in the water column. But for most wind situations and depths, this 1/8 works out really well. Now there's a ton of plastics out there that you can get, just little small, little grub plastics work well, or little straight tails. This is my go-to, what I would use. And I like some sort of shad color paired up with the pink or something bright. So it really depends. If it's clear water, I'll go with more natural. And if it's dirty water, stained water, I'll go with something like this orange or a chartreuse or something like that. You can fish this jig head straight up and down. You can jig it through the water column, swim it. You can do a lot of things with it. But if the water's a little dingier, you need a little bit more thump, I like to go with just that same sort of thing with a little willow blade on the bottom and maybe one that has a little grub tail on it. But fishing it just the same way, those are my two all-time favorites for casting out and jigging for crappies. Now my go-to gear setup for fishing crappie, as far as line goes, I love a small diameter braided line to a fluorocarbon. So I usually go with a 15-pound braided main line, and then I'll throw a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader and just tie a little leader knot on there. You don't have to have a super strong one for crappie because they're not pulling as hard as bass. But that setup right there allows you to feel everything that's going on. Crappie a lot of times bite just so sensitive, and having that braid really helps, and they can't see the fluorocarbon. And as far as rods go, you want something that is like a medium light. I like to have a medium light rod for throwing the really light jigs and getting that light bite, especially if I'm vertically jigging or something. So I throw a medium light. So this is the other rod that I'll throw, and this is literally a bass rod that I would use for like really light wacky rigs or weightless plastics or small little jig heads. Same sort of thing. Ned setup. This is the Googan Squad Finesse Light series, set up the same way. So I have one that's really light, like a medium light, and one that's just like a medium with a real soft tip on it. And we have really big crappie here in Texas. Sometimes I'm fishing next to stumps or docks or weeds, and I need that little extra power. So those are the two setups that I take, and this is pretty much all you need anywhere in the country if you want to go catch a crappie. Crappie fishing is just becoming more popular, and a lot more bass fishermen are doing it. So give it a try if you haven't already. It's fun. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to stay tuned for more tips right here, you know what to do. Subscribe. We'll see you back here at the Googan Lab.